Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Good morning. Let's check out this market. All right, we got the diversified divas working today again. We'll look at that in a second. Let's start with S&P futures. Oh, that's a good look. Now this is a daily chart, but I like how the bar of today's chart has totally engulfed the body of yesterday's candle. Like the bar of today's candle is engulfed in a bullish way. That's nice. That's nice there. Let's look at NASDAQ futures. Similar look. Let's put it on a 30-minute chart. Get a little bit better zoomed in look on a 30-minute chart. Hopefully yesterday's pullback was a viable dip. That's what it's looking like right now. Check the previous POC or whatever. Anyway, all right. Well, that's 24-hour NASDAQ futures, or they trade 23 hours a day. So here's the Qs, which only trade 7.5 hours a day or something. Qs have a gigantic bullish gap left behind this morning. That's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see the last big bearish gap. I mean, the last big bullish gap they left behind worked exactly like it's designed. Buyers got excited and they gapped it overnight. It gapped overnight. It came back down into the area where it gapped. There were still resting orders there, and that was a great place to buy the dip. Will the same thing work out here? Who knows? But we shall see. SPY's in the same situation. They have a gigantic bullish gap right here, and they left one behind between last Friday and Monday. And then when we got back into there's still buyers there. So this gap was supportive. They have a bullish gap right here from the 22nd of December, and it was supportive. Price return, there was buyers there. There's actually another bullish gap right here that started this whole rally off. 1, 2, 3, 4 bullish gaps. There's a small one there. Hey, Jax, what's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? Hang on, let me shut my door. Thanks for letting Jax in. All right. Jax was sitting outside in the sun, and he just came inside. Good boy, Jackson. All right. So now let's look at Bitcoin. I'm using IBIT for my proxy. Jackson, what's going on, bud? You have food in your bowl. You have water. Everything's good. Look at IBET leaving behind a bullish gap between Tuesday and Wednesday. And anyway, we returned back there this morning. We'll see if it's supportive. Lots of bullish gaps on these charts. A bullish gap right here, bullish gap right here. Gaps are bullish above, bearish below. So I mean, I'd be on this time frame on IBIT. I'm bullish above 53.64, and then underneath it, anyway, looking for dips to buy. All right, so that's IBIT. Let's look at a 24-hour Bitcoin chart. Get a little bit different perspective. Been a great week. 12:30. Yeah, it has been a hell of a week. Bitcoin's gone from 92 to 96. I like to see that. Hey, Dan, how are you doing? William, Dan's in the house. All right, so let's look at the diversified divas. Let's talk divas. I guess first let's look at the charts of the stocks. So let's check out Blocks. Blocks is the premier diva, in my opinion. Well, that's actually up a little bit today. Not a bad looking chart. Let's look at ULTY from Yield Max. This thing is up today. Look at that, up nearly a point. That's pretty impressive. 0.7 of a point. Let's look at old K yield. K yield is actually up 0.5 point today. He's right there. That's nice. And now let's look at ULTI, the problem diva. ULTI is the, no, I'm just joking. ULTI is the bad diva. It is right now. I mean, or it has been this quarter anyway. They all can't be the best. I mean, one has to be the worst, one has to be the best. At least this quarter, first quarter, K yield was the best, ULTY was the worst, and Alti and blocks were somewhere in between. Anyway, that's a good look for ULTI. So now let's, well, I mean, it's not today. The chart's a better look in general. It's bouncing off lows, but today ULTI from Rex is actually down the most. So let's go over here to the diversified divas. Let's check it out. So, all right. So you can see, for the first thing I always check out is, look at K yield has nearly 30 million under management. Blocks has 250 million. Alti is just under 1.2, 1.1. Alt Y is. Alt I is, what is that, 16 million. Then just on today's performance, we already looked at this, but ULTY was up 0.5 point. Blocks and ULTI are doing poorly. They're down. K yield is actually up a little bit too, up about 0.25 point. But you can look at the understudies. Look at these understudies. Chippy just killing it. QLDY is having a great day. Look at this. It's up. I was saying yesterday, it's Achilles' heel is that it doesn't go up super fast. We haven't seen the market. We don't know that. I suspect that. Anyway, today's kind of, maybe QLDY heard what I was saying about him yesterday and was like, hold my beer. Because Qs are up 1.1 today. QLDY is up 1.5. That's a pretty good premium. That's a pretty good premium. QLDY is beating any other diva or understudy besides Chippy. So that's good. If you want to look at the total return since October 31st, when K yield and ULTI from Rex came out, you want to look at the total return. Here we have it. ULTI is down about 25%. Blocks down 15. ULTY down 15. I was so excited when I thought K yield had their head above water yesterday, but they're close. K yield's only down 3% the past quarter. This is total return, so this includes dividend. The NAV of all these things is down a lot more, but including dividends, K yield is down about 3%. It's in a quarter. They're paying about 30% a year, which is about 7.5% a quarter or something like that. So, if they're down 3% and they paid a 7.5% dividend, that means their NAV is down 10.5% if we were just looking at their NAV. So don't buy these if you're expecting the NAV to go up. You're getting these for the yield. Anyway, because even K yield, which is the best of any of them, has NAV that's down 10% right now. But like I say, once you add in back in the dividend, you're doing pretty well. So we can look at the individual stocks. So which one's doing that? I'm really impressed that Alti's doing the best again today. Alti's really been killing it lately. Let's see what they have. They have Applied Materials. It's up 7%. Look at this. They have Coherent, which is up 13%. They have Lam Research. They have Las Vegas Sands. They have, what is that? How do you say that? Lumentum Holdings up 6%. I mean, these guys are just absolutely killing the game. They are killing it now. Of course, Strategy's down 4%. It's not all good. They have to have some losers in there. They have Strategy and SMR and IRIN for their losers. But nice job, ULTI. Now let's see who Blocks has. Blocks isn't doing as well. They have a little bit different selection of funds. They have Taiwan Semi that's up 6%. That's good. Semis are up. NVIDIA, Taiwan, Galaxy Digital's up, and the rest of their stuff is down outside of CoreWeave, which is up 8%. And then we have K yield. Now let's see what stuff they hold. Their holdings are more similar to ULTY. And sure enough, ULTY and K yield are both up a little bit today. So that would make sense. Let's see what's pulling these guys up. They have some of this. Well, they have Galaxy. They run on the Galaxy trade too, but they also have Shopify, Vistra Corporation, BWX Technologies. Hey, Fish, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Red or Fish? I call you Red sometimes and Fish sometimes. Probably Red's a better name. This one's not really working right. Anyway, whatever. All right. So that's that. That is that. What are you up to, Dan? What's Dan talking about here? Got into a position on RDY. Why you bought you a Galaxy shares? Oh gosh, Reddit Yield Max. Oh no, that's the Yield Max version. When I saw the double Y, lots of times the double Y is a Granite, is the way Granite ends their tickers. I was assuming that was maybe Granite shares. Anyway, okay, Yield Max, same difference. Yield Max, not really the same difference. I mean, Yield Max is probably about twice as safe as Granite shares, but it's about twice as dangerous as everything else. So, but anyway, generates a good amount of income. I'm glad to hear that. I'll be anxious to hear how that's working out for you. There's 13 people here. Okay, great. I like to have a lot of people here. So let's look at some other stuff. Let's look at the 1-day buffer report. So we catch things that aren't divas. You know me, I'm diva focused. If it's not blocks for Alti or K-Yield or WPay or QLDY, I only like the ones I like, but let's talk about the ones that you got. I just don't care for the single stock ones, but it's important to keep up with them. So AMDW is the best single stock one, which is good. And I have that through WPay indirectly. TSMY, I don't have any of, but it's having a good day too. We have DraftKings from Yield Max. We have NBDW beating the parent. Good job. I have that indirectly through WPay also. Oh gosh darn it. Are you back? Sorry about this, guys. There's some kind of screen zoom feature on here, and it activated, and now it won't unzoom. Usually I just tap it. There it is. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Let's see. Portfolio. Income ETF analysis. Okay, let me get this thing back up here. But on the 1-day results, it looks like it's anything semiconductor based. You're in good shape. Now these right here. Okay, we'll look at 1-month results too, just because it came up. If Rob's watching, Rob, I wish this didn't default. If you don't do anything, it defaults to just selected Yield Max. I wish the default was they were all selected. But I have to go in and hit select all, or select none, then select all. Well, unselect Yield Max, then select. Anyway, I'm talking to the developer, Rob, just in case you guys were curious. This is a good app. Stocktools.app/Max is my affiliate code if you want to try it out. The first month free. Okay. Anyway, on a monthly basis, here we have it. Murny, the stock of the month in BITX. Heck yes, BITX. Heck yes. I love that one. I have 6% of my account in that one, or the model portfolio. Heck yes. Heck yes. What else is doing well this month? I'm just scanning through here to see if I have any of these other ones. BCCC, anything Bitcoin's had a good month. I mean, BTCI. It's Revenge of the Bitcoin Nerds this month. Well, I'm really happy to see BITX. And look at that. It's doubling the parent. That's freaking convexity. I love what Tuttle's doing over there. I love what Tuttle's doing. I like what they're doing at X Funds. Jay and you know, Jay's Traders, and of course, David Nicholas, Tuttle. I just think those are kind of on the bleeding edge right now. All right, so Mark, you almost missed the live. You were babysitting some spy calls. Good job on making the money. I appreciate that. The spies have been really, the mornings have been, the morning shows have been really inconsistent lately. So that's my fault. It'd be easier for you guys to make it if I was on at the same time every day. I'm trying to get back in the swing of it, and I will. But I'm glad you didn't miss it. And I'm glad you sold your winner when you did. Man, that was a good trade. You weren't the only one in winter. I mean, I talked to other people that had it too. Man, of course, most people that had winter, or the other people, maybe not you, but the other people I talked to that had it were using it to dampen the loss in Misty. And I don't believe you have Misty. So anyway, good job on that. Good job on selling your winter. Hey, David, thanks for being here. Yeah, so did you think, so Dan's saying he thought it was Granite shares too when he first saw that RDYY. Usually the double Y, I mean, that's kind of traditionally a Granite shares thing. All right, so let's look at some other stuff if we have anything else to look at. I don't really have anything else up. I'm trying to think if I have any other tabs I want to talk about. The Daily Factor, in case anyone missed the show last night, I forget who won. I guess TSLP won. Then did I make I forget who the editor's choice was. I thought maybe I was going to give it to NVDY, but it was ranked too low. I think we just kept it TSLP. Anyway, it's a deserving fund. Look, it yields 33%. You know, not great, but I mean, the NAV was actually up. You know, which one would you rather have? Would you rather have something that yielded 33% and the NAV was up 7%? Or, well, Tesla yields more than 25%. That's an error. I don't know why it says that. It yields more like, right? Tesla yields more than 75%. Hang on, let's check this out. TSO. That's for the quarter. Let's do this for a year and just see here. All right, I want to look at Tesla's yield. So they pay $34 in dividends on $69. So that's like more like 50%. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, so look, both of these are right together at the finish line, 2.4 and 2.2 on a 1 year basis. There's been virtually no difference in total return on a 1 year basis between TSLP from Curve and TSOI from YieldMax. Other than TSOI pays about 50%, TSLP pays about 30%. You know, so you get more of your money back in the form of yield. If you have TSOI, it might be better if you're retired or on a fixed income. TSLP might be better if you were younger and didn't want to forego as much of the growth as you're going to have to with TSLP. You know, I mean, with TSOI, TSOI's price got cut in half. TSLP's price just dropped, you know, $8 in the past year, which is 25%. Anyway, yeah, that's a good idea, Dan. Hit that like and subscribe. Red got some NV2 when it's going to get some NV2 when it goes below your cost basis. I'm just waiting for the fund of funds. I am just waiting for the fund of funds. All right, so but back to in case anyone missed the Daily Factor, I just thought you guys might be interested. When TSLP, TSOI, NV2, which is right there. I mean, you know, we were just talking about that in the comments. Red was, and TS2. In VDW. Anyway, that's last night's recap. In case anyone missed it, TSLP was definitely the winner. If you want to look at each individual winner, NVDW won in the NVIDIA division, TSLP won in the Tesla division, and Coney one in the Coinbase. And that goes to, and of course, Coinbase is down big, but in a big down market, the yield max funds are actually what you want. Believe it or not, I know people are arguing, I hate yield max. Well, whatever, in a down market, because of the way they do, you just don't want them in an up market. But anyway, that kind of shows it there, because Coney's doing a better job than any of the other ones as far as protecting capital. Well, it's actually doing a better job on risk adjusted reward. As far as protecting capital goes, COII actually protected capital a little bit better. But COYY from Granite Shares was just a complete bust. It lost 50%. ICOI from Bitwise lost almost 50%. Just a complete bust. But CONY and CO2, especially CO2, did a better job protecting capital. All right. Anyway, I'm glad NV2's been doing well for you, Red. I like NVDW, but NV2 was outperforming it. Oh yeah, and at a lower price, so you could get more shares. That's always attractive too. All right, so what are we gonna do with the rest of the day? I need to take Jax for a run. I'll try to be. I'll come back on this afternoon about 5, just like always. And tonight it's Thursday night, so I'm trying to think on Thursday night, what do we do for the daily factor? Thursday. I don't know. We'll figure something. Maybe it's closed in fund Thursday. You know me, I'm not super pumped about closed in funds as super pumped as you guys are about it. But yeah, maybe we'll do a closed in fund night, or maybe we'll look at all the State Street funds. That might be fun. Red, what do you say? NVDW didn't capture upside, but it captured all the downside. It actually captured all the downside plus 10% probably, right? Or 20%, because it has a little bit of a kicker in there. Let's just look at NVDW versus NV. I guess NV2. Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing exactly what you're seeing, Red. NVDW's NAV went from 41 to 40. That's really not bad. It lost 50 cents. Exactly 50 cents right there. No, 48 cents. My math is suspect, right? Gosh darn it. Anyway, but it lost about 50 cents. Lost about half a dollar. Let's just put it that way. Where NV2 actually on NAV, if NAV concerns you, went from 25 to 28. It made $3 on NAV. So if you're into NAV, NV2 is the obvious choice. Now, why would anyone do NVDW? Let's look and see if they have an advantage in dividends, maybe. I mean, if they paid $16 on 40, where these guys paid 8 on 24. Well, I can tell you 16 on 40 is better than 8 on 24, right? Is that right? 1632. Yes, it is better than 8 on 24. So it just like it always works. You need more yield. Maybe NVDW will work, but you're going to sacrifice NAV performance. But if you want NAV performance, no guarantee, but NV2 looks like it has a better shot at providing NAV performance. It still depends on NVIDIA to go up. None of these are going to do anything if NVIDIA goes straight down. But other things being equal, NV2 ought to do a little bit better on NAV in an up market than NVDW, just because of the way it's constructed. Let's check out NVDY against NVDW just for fun. All right, so NVDW beats NVDY. Now, remember what I said a second ago, people don't believe me. They're like, yield max sucks. They're super risky and stuff. Yeah, true, but they suck on the upside. Look at it on the downside. I mean, just comparing these two, NVDY lost. You can't really tell there, but this one's down 4,000 or 3,800. This one's down about 2,700. That's a gigantic percentage difference. That can mean a margin call. But now that you can see the trade-off is on the upside right there, right? Anyway, Now let's compare NV2 to NVDY. I mean, all of these are, I mean, any of these might work. It just depends on what you're looking for. NVDY. And if you want downside protection, more worried about the downside, you'll max will perform better in the down market. You know, in an up market, you probably want Rex or Round Hill. So now let's compare Rex to Yield Max. All right, yeah, Rex is killing it. Now, but like I say, Yield Max's problem is on the upside, not on the downside. And sure, we can see that here, you know. So anyway, all right, well, yeah, no one likes nav erosion. I'm with you, Fish. I'm on your team. I'm on the no nav erosion team with you guys. All right, guys, I think we covered it all. Barring any last minute questions, I'll let you guys get out of here and have a good morning and get back to trading. And I'll see you at 5 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.